Hey folks. So, that recent Tears of the Kingdom trailer? Pretty damn amazing, right? It was so jam-packed and overwhelming in such an amazing way. There is so much in here to dissect and pull apart to analyse, and I plan to cover every little nook and cranny over the coming weeks. But whilst rewatching the trailer again and again, something pretty major became apparent to me, and it's to do with Ganondorf and the Blood Moon seen fairly early on in the trailer. The Blood Moon was a key mechanic in Breath of the Wild. It was a symbol of Calamity Ganon's malice, and served as an enemy reset every so often. But now it's back, and with a lot more purpose. Ganondorf is behind it all, and I've got some things to say about it all. I have a theory / speculation on what I am dubbing the new Blood Moon in Tears of the Kingdom. Let's do this. Be sure to go and grab yourself a snack or drink and send them in to get featured right here. And also be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out. And let's get into this one. After the opening shots of the rain and what I assume is the underground, we went straight into the first major part of this trailer. Ganondorf started speaking, and we then saw his servants preparing to destroy and wipe out Hyrule and her allies, in an honestly dark and slightly terrifying fashion. So much happened so quickly, and as this happened live, I was shook. I mean, look at me. I did not expect the trailer to get so extreme, loud, destructive, and malicious so early on, but I loved it. Even after this first part, Ganondorf and his servants remain present throughout the entire trailer, indicating just how big a part of the story that they'll be. The source behind Ganondorf's work here is the returning Blood Moon. He appears to be channeling its energy, connected with it. It was highlighted quite a bit in the trailer, and I want to talk about how it will work in the game, how it will affect certain aspects of the game such as potential dungeons, enemies, and of course the world itself. Let's begin by discussing how it will work and affect the world this time around. As mentioned, the Blood Moon in Breath of the Wild was solely just a reset for the enemies across Hyrule. Off the bat, I would predict that this feature will be returning as the world looks just as big, if not bigger, with tons of enemies and overworld bosses that will need to respawn every now and then. I think it would be simple to just bring that mechanic back. With that said, what new effects will it take on the kingdom? Well, it's definitely going to be a lot more powerful than before, for multiple reasons. Firstly, Ganondorf has risen. He is the evil.
I am the
evil. He commands the malice and has control over it, whereas the last big bad was more controlled by the malice and was basically malice itself. The Blood Moon has a direct connection to malice and its mysterious nature. With Ganondorf having a proper control over the substance, he likely has a greater connection to the Blood Moon, evident by him quite literally summoning new enemies directly from the moon. Another reason we can consider it much more powerful is by geographical events going on. Hyrule Castle Rising and Death Mountain Spewing could, and in my opinion are, with the help of the Blood Moon. Of course Ganondorf is controlling this, but it's all the influence that makes it possible in my eyes. Moons in general do have real influence on the world. For example, our moon plays a role in the waves of the ocean. In this fantasy world, the Blood Moon plays a huge role in malice. Ganondorf is using that to do this. Other ways it appears to affect the world is with the new enemies. Some look familiar, but a lot more red and malice powered. They are likely far stronger and powerful as this more powerful Blood Moon is creating them. The Blood Moon seen in this trailer generally appears to be far more powerful and influencing the land much more. Something I would also like to mention is that this could also affect potential dungeons. We don't know 100% how they could look or work in the game just yet, at least not confirmed, but it could play a role in some way. With how it will work and influence the kingdom in this game discussed, what else is there to add to this theory? Well, I personally believe that there will be more capabilities that we haven't seen yet. Going back to that point regarding our own moon and influencing the tides of our oceans, I could see this Blood Moon having some sort of influence on the land, perhaps shaking it up in some sort of way every now and then. I also think that the Blood Moon will play a role in the battle, or battles against Ganondorf, maybe even multiple boss fights. Perhaps he draws power directly from the moon as we fight him. I mean, he can clearly do it with enemies, who says he can't do that for himself? Maybe he summons more enemies mid-battle, maybe he powers himself up. It'll be interesting to see how that happens, if it happens. Now, the last major point I'd like to delve into is the darker tones to the game that all of this brings, and why that is significant. Back when the game was first announced to be a thing, back in 2019, it was said by the developers themselves that this game would be darker, similar to how Majora's Mask was darker than its predecessor, Ocarina of Time. And looking at how things are going for Hyrule and Tears of the Kingdom, that is standing very true. Ganondorf isn't out to capture Zelda and take over Hyrule like he normally is. He wants to destroy Hyrule. He's had enough and is pulling out all the tricks to make sure Hyrule meets its end. Even Princess Zelda is doubtful that Link can stop him. That's how powerful this is. I believe a key part of his unreal strength in this game will be the new and more powerful Blood Moon. Ganondorf's new Blood Moon. It all adds up in my eyes. He's clearly channeling it. To conclude and wrap up, my personal theory is that the Blood Moon will now be a much stronger version of what we saw in Breath of the Wild. So much so that it could be considered a new Blood Moon, one enhanced heavily by the rise of Ganondorf and his quest to not take over Hyrule, but destroy it. Please do let me know what you thought of this theory and all the little ideas and speculations along with it. In a video about Ganondorf that I posted just days before the Direct, I made a prediction that Ganondorf's story in this game would be bigger than ever and a lot more than just taking over Hyrule, something that would be a major event in the timeline. It looks like I was very much spot on. If you want to check that video out, I'll link it below. For now, I'm going to get to work on my next video regarding this new trailer. I am open to video idea suggestions too, just leave them in the comments here or on my community tab post. Will Ganondorf be successful with the help of this new, more powerful Blood Moon? We'll just have to wait and see. Be sure to drop a wee like down below if you enjoyed, and also consider subscribing for more fabulous Zelda content, leading up to the release of Tears of the Kingdom. Also in the theme of Ganondorf, check out these awesome Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf stickers. I personally highly recommend them. Link below. Follow my socials, link below to keep up to date, and as always, a huge massive amazing shout out goes to all of my channel supporters. Thanks a ton. Your support really helps me to make these videos week in, week out, all month long, 365 days a year. If you'd like to join them and get yourself a shout out upon joining, and your name at the end of every video, then consider supporting via the links below. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have an amazing day or night, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.